How's it going, guys? It's the Pixelated Pumpkin, and in today's video, I'll be taking a look at Lemax Spooky Town Halloween 2022 brand new lineup for this year, and I could not be more excited for this. This stuff came out earlier in the month. It just took me a very long time around to really taking a look at everything since there's so much here, and I wanted to make sure they put out all their videos for each piece before I went and reviewed and take a look at all of them. But anyways, I will be taking a look at every single new building this year and a few little figures and tabletop items that aren't necessarily considered buildings, but I just thought they were cool. I won't be taking a look at all those, but I'll be taking a look at the ones I really do like. Anyways, I'm really excited for this year because they have a ton of good stuff this year. This is honestly one of their better years in the past 3 or 4 years, I would say. Last year, I wasn't that impressed with their lineup, but this year's a completely different story. So many unique pieces, so many great things this year. You're seeing them all on screen right now, a few videos from. I am super excited to talk about each piece here today. So I guess there really isn't much more explaining that needs to be done here. I'll be going through these in no particular order, so let's get started. Starting off with which I think will probably be one of the most popular pieces this year, or at least a fan favorite, maybe not the bestseller, but definitely a fan favorite by collectors this year, is Last Ditch Gas. Now this is another take on the Apocalypse theme from Lemax. They had the Wasteland pub a few years back, which I really do love, and they're coming back with this theme again, bringing us Last Ditch Gas. Reminds me a lot of Last Chance Gas from Spirit Halloween. But anyways, this thing is awesome in my opinion. I absolutely love this thing. Let's get started with the lighting. So all those flames there, obviously those have a faint glow to them, which look really cool. And there isn't too much lighting other than the lighting above the sign, which looks great. So I think the lighting is great here. I really don't think it needed too much color in it, to be honest. I do like those white lights above it. I think if they were red, it would have been a little bit too dark and took away from the logo. So I think the lighting scheme here is perfectly fine, and I like it a lot. Now for all the little details in it. There are so many little figures standing on the thing here with those big flamethrowers. I think it looks awesome. And the big head and the big torso, I guess, too, since he has arms and stuff, above the sign right there looks awesome as well. It looks a little bit unrealistic, and I think they maybe could have put something that fits there a little bit better, that's a little bit more realistic. But nonetheless, I do like it. Also, just the signs all over it as well. Just the amount of detail they're packing into this thing is crazy. Overall, I think this thing looks great. It fits the Apocalypse theme perfectly. The detailing, the shape of the building is awesome too. And I think it makes for one awesome apocalyptic gas station theme. Really good job on Lemax's part with this one. I really do enjoy this piece a lot and will go perfectly with the Wasteland pub. The next piece we're looking at is the Count's Bat Bonanza. Now this is another theme park piece, and I have to say, this thing is incredible. We'll start off with the animation, of course, since that is the main attraction here. It fits the ride it's trying to copy perfectly. I forget what these type of rides are called, but I've been on so many of them over the years, whether it's at an actual big theme park or just a small fair. You can find them anywhere. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of these rides. They're kind of boring, but for little kids it's fine, and especially here, it just looks incredible. I love how each passenger is dressed up for Halloween, and they're riding in these bats. It just overall looks incredible. The animation of them rising up and down is great. The spinning motion is at the perfect speed, and I like how the Count spins on top. That is a really cool detail as well. The lighting here is also great. I love the purple lighting shining onto the bats when they go around, and just overall the detailing with the tower on top and the bat cave behind it too. It overall just fits with the carnival theme perfectly. I love how this one looks, and I know this is going to be a huge piece this year for any theme park piece collectors. This thing will fit perfectly in any carnival theme park, anything like that, it will go perfectly. So I'm a huge fan of this one. Now for the audio, this is something I don't care about too much on Lemax pieces, since I honestly don't like the audio tracks on many of them. It's alright here, I guess. Nothing too much to say about it, but overall, I think the Count's Bat Bonanza is another awesome addition to the theme park, and I'm happy to see that we're getting a new type of ride, and I just love this one. It is awesome. Next up, we have another very unique and interesting piece, being Pumpkin Potpourri. Now, I'm a little bit confused as what this is trying to be, but we'll get into it after we talk about all the details here. First of all, I just want to say I love the way this one looks for the most part. It gets a little bit confusing with all the witches being mixed with the pumpkin theme and industrial theme at the same time. I feel like it's just too big of a mashup of so many different themes, which kind of really knocks this thing down a few in my opinion. I love how the big pumpkin looks on top with the cat eyes, and especially the big corn stalk with the pumpkin on top of it to the other side. I would love to see that be built into a farm piece, especially with that big pumpkin pile at the bottom. If that was put onto like a farm piece, I would buy that thing in a second. But this, it really doesn't fit all too well here. I'm really not sure what they're trying to go for in terms of the theme here, because it's, again, a mashup of like industrial, pumpkins, and witches, and it just really does not work out well for me. I think the lighting works out well here, at least, and also I like the steam coming out of the stem of the pumpkin at the top, but other than that, it's very confusing to me. I do like it a lot, though. I don't want to make it seem like I hate this thing. I think it looks cool, at least, but I feel like just there's too many themes all being mashed into one right here, and it just definitely does not work out in this thing's favor. Overall, I think it's a mid-tier. Next piece we're looking at is the Headstone Mill Brewery, and I do like this one a lot. I love the windmill theme they have going on here, and I think everything flows so nicely together with just the way the building looks. I do like the water wheel over there at the bottom, and the windmill looks very nice itself, too. I think this would go great with the pumpkin quarry thing from last year. I forget exactly what it's called. I think it's called Isle of the Creepy Jacks or something like that. I think it would go great with that, but overall, I think it's just a great standalone aquatic or swamp-like piece. It could definitely fit into a swamp setting, too. I think the building itself, again, looks really cool. I really like that water wheel at the bottom. It has a lot of good animated components, too, with the windmill spinning at the top. I also like how it's a brewery themed as well. They definitely gotten really into the brewery themes recently, like last year with the whiskey distillery. So I think that would also go pretty good with this. I think I enjoy this one a lot more than I really would expect to. Overall, I think this one is cool. I feel like it could use a little bit more detail on the building itself, but everything in front of it really makes up for it, and the windmill itself is awesome too. The audio is also kind of good. I actually do like the audio on this one with the creaking and windmill sounds. And I don't know, overall I just think this is a cool one, not one I would be interested in getting because of how expensive it will probably be with all the animated components, but overall it's really cool. Next up, we got another pumpkin-themed piece. I love it this year. We got so many pumpkin pieces. But here we have the Sugared Pumpkin Candy Shop. And I have to say, I do like this one quite a bit. Now, there's a few problems with it, which I will mention in a minute. Overall, I really do like it. So, starting off, I love the fairy tale aesthetic this thing has. It's not my personal favorite theming, but it does have a really nice fairy tale aesthetic to it, which I do like a lot. Also, the detailing here is really nice. The bright colors definitely pop out a lot. And it looks like the lighting is going to be pretty nice, too. We don't have a video for this one, unfortunately. What I don't like about it is I feel like there's a little bit too much colors. I know I did say I like the bright colors a lot, but I feel like it should get, at some point, it just gets a little bit too bright and a little bit too, like, friendly looking. And I don't know. The pumpkins on the side look too shriveled and stuff, and they don't really look natural. Overall, though, I do like this one quite a bit, just not in my personal taste and theme. I'm not the biggest fairy tale theme guy, but it's nice to see something this unique. I think this is definitely one of the most unique pieces this year. We really haven't seen anything like this. I feel like it would go better with a witch theme, but it makes it work with the pumpkin theme surprisingly well, so I will give it props for that. Overall, I like this one a little bit. Definitely another mid-tier one for me overall, but I still think it looks really cool. Next up, we have another one of my favorites from this year, Dr. Gorys Laboratory. Now, this one is awesome on so many levels. First of all, it's a laboratory theme, which we hardly see, and they pulled it off awesome here. I love how you can see all the different test tubes and experiments on the outside of the building. I think it looks so cool with the water effects they use and the bubbles, and the different lighting techniques here are also awesome. I think the building itself is super unique looking and definitely fits the laboratory aesthetic perfectly. I just really, really love the way this whole thing looks. Just all the different components and stuff they use on the outside of the building is so awesome. You can't spot everything at first glance, which I also love. There's just so much going on here, which I just adore. Like, just the brain, all the different bubbles and stuff. It just looks so cool. Overall, Dr. Gorys Laboratory is definitely, probably will be one of the biggest sellers this year, in my opinion, and definitely, absolutely one of my favorites. Next up, we have another extremely unique piece, being the That's a Wrap Mummy Mortuary. Now, first of all, it is an Egyptian/mummy/pyramid theme, which we never see. So this is so cool to finally be seeing some more mummy theming. I just love the way this thing looks. First of all, the big mummy head at the top is awesome. I love the look he has on his face. And it just appears to be a single bulb lit building, meaning it's going to be super cheap and It's very simplistic, just being a simple building, but I think the way they designed it and detailed it, they really worked with everything that we're given here to add so much good theming to this piece. I really do love it. I also love the little inside display you could see inside right there, and overall, I just think this one is really awesome. Sure, it is just, again, a single lit building, not too much interesting with the lighting, but I don't know. I think that kind of adds to it in some sort of way. Overall, I really do love this piece, and it is finally nice to see some more mummy representation in Halloween stuff. We really don't see anything to do with mummies anymore, and this one, if we're going to see more mummy stuff, please let it be like this, because this is awesome. Next up, we have the pet shop. I forget what the whole name is, but it is yet again another single bulb-lit building, and to be honest, it doesn't have too much Halloween theming going on here, but I'll explain why I love this piece so much right now. It feels very nostalgic to me. I don't know why, just for some reason, this piece fills me with so much nostalgia for Halloween. I really can't explain it, but that's why I love it so much. There's something really warm feeling about this piece, which I really do love, and just brings me back to when I was really little and I enjoyed Halloween and stuff like that. It's very hard to explain, but this is definitely one of the sleeper hits I feel for this year. There really isn't too much going on other than this guy trying to get the cat down off the roof, and it's just a few pumpkins thrown about, really not too much theming with Halloween. But it is a simple, nice town building that you could fit into any town, and I really think it works well. Easily one of my favorites for this year, just gives me such a warm Halloween feeling, which I do love. Definitely one I won't be picking up, but still, it could fit into any town. I feel like this one might be actually I think this one might actually be a pretty good seller this year. Only time will tell, but overall, I do like this one quite a bit. Next up, we probably have one of the big ticket items from this year from Lemax being the Gloom Room. Now, this one has so much animation going on, and there's so much going on in general, regardless of animation. First of all, I just have to say, I love the aesthetic it has going on. I forget what time period this is. I'm pretty sure it's either the 20s or the 60s or 50s. I really can't remember. Sorry if I get it wrong. I forget what time period this aesthetic is going for. It definitely reminds me a lot of The Shining, though, with the ballroom in The Shining. I forget what the ballroom is called. Anyways, the amount of lighting and the amount of things going on here is so cool. First of all, we'll start off with the bottom since there's just so much to talk about. As you can see, they have a little drink station going on, a little bar area outside, which is really cool. And then you could have that big Gloom Room sign with a bunch of zombies all over the place. And then obviously you could go in there and then you could get to the top section, which is the dance area where there's a whole bunch of animation going on up there. I even like how they have the little staircases going up, making it more realistic, obviously. And just overall, I'm a huge fan of this one. I love the big glass windows letting you see into the dance area over there. And just overall, a really great piece right here, which I love a lot. Definitely love the whole aesthetic it's going for, and just overall a really great zombie dance party piece. Surprisingly, we had a few of those with the graveyard dance party. I forget what that piece is called, but there was another dancing zombie party piece, so it's cool to see that we're getting another one this year, and I really do love the Gloom Room. Next up, sticking with the bar theme we've been seeing so much from Lemax over the recent years, and especially this year, is the Toil and Trouble Ale House. And surprisingly, I actually like this one quite a bit, considering it is a witch theme, and I'm not the biggest person on witch themes, but this one works out pretty well. First of all, I do like the way the building is shaped and just how it looks. I do love the big hat on top. As overall, it gives me a nice feeling, It gives me the nice Halloween feel from this piece. It just seems to be a single bulb-lit house, again, but with a more interesting shape and design. Fortunately, no video for this one, but we could get a very good look at it right here. I don't think there is any special lighting. Again, I do think it is just a single lit bulb house. But overall, I do like this one a lot. The aesthetic and the detail of it is really, really nice here. And just overall, I think it looks good. The details are there. The little outside bar area is there. And overall, I really do like this one. Another great bar/brewery theme from Lemax again. Just really sticking with this theme, which is surprising, but I'm not going to complain. I actually kind of like it. Sticking with the theme of witches, next up we have what's called a Facade piece. Now, I forget the exact name of this one, my apologies, but this is a special type of piece. I'm pretty sure it's called a Facade. So basically, it is just one kind of like a multi-building, which has some sort of forced perspective to it. As you can see, it looks like there's a big hill behind it, but it's really just kind of a flat piece almost. Now, this doesn't really fit well with many other buildings, I would feel, since obviously it has that hill and the moon in the background. I think it's better for like a standalone thing, and I'm pretty sure you could hang it off something. I'm not really too sure how these work. I know they have a few Christmas ones, but it's the first time they're doing a Halloween one, which is interesting. Overall, I think it looks cool, but I don't think it would fit with other buildings all too well, unfortunately. But, I don't know, for a standalone piece, if you're not going to be putting this into a village, I think it would be fine. But if you are, it would kind of try to be, like, at the top of your village, or somewhere in the back, or it would have to be in the back, since it definitely has to be up against a wall or something. Overall, I think it just looks okay, nothing too special, but it is cool to see a facade piece for Halloween and not just for Christmas. Here we have another one of my personal favorites for this year, being a Clocksmith building. Now, I forget the exact name again, sorry about that. I don't feel like going looking on their website for it right now. But anyways, this seems to be another single bulb lit building. Unfortunately, no video for this one, so I doubt it has animation in the clock hands, which would have been really cool, but I think this one is going for the cheaper end, so that's fine with me. First of all, I love the way that skull on the clock face looks. Just a really great design overall with that big clock right in the building. Makes so much sense right there. Also, all the little details with like the bird skeleton at the top and the two Grim Reapers on the sides look really well too. And I also like the shape of the building as well, how it points off at the top and like that death bat looking thing up at the top with the skull and the bat wings. Overall, this one's another really good one for me, and especially the little inside area there. I love seeing that little skeleton work on the clocks there. Really, really cool looking, and definitely another one of my personal favorites from this year. A really, really unique and cool Clocksmith building for sure. Yet again, we have another witch building, this time being Agathas Apocary. Now, unfortunately, I really don't like this one all too much. I'm not the biggest fan of witch themes, as I have said. I think Lemax pulls them off pretty well, but fortunately, this one was a major miss for me. First of all, this has a lot of animation going on, which I have no problem with, but I feel like it's a little bit unnecessary here. And also, my biggest problem with this, it just has such a plasticky looking feel to it. It feels very fake and less detailed compared to a lot of their other pieces. It seemed like they kind of just gave up halfway through with this one on detailing. So, I don't know, it feels very rushed in my opinion and really just not that good. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of Agathas Apocary, unfortunately, and I don't think many other people will be either. I can't see this being a big seller this year except for major witch collectors, but overall, I'm really not a big fan of this one. Definitely a low tier in my book, probably one of my least favorites from this year. Next up, we have a smaller yet funny piece being the Shinbone family reunion. I really don't have too much to say about this one other than I do like it a lot. It's obviously a family having a barbecue for a reunion, and it seems like their trailer in the back is in the shape of a pumpkin, of course. Overall, I think this one is cute and goes nicely with a lot of different themes. Overall, it's cool, not something I'll be picking up, but I'm sure it'll be probably in the $20 to $30 price range, considering how small it is. It does have lighting, which is cool, but overall, really not too much going on here, so I think it's cool. Again, nonetheless, it's doing what it has to do, so I like it a lot. Now, coming to our last full-size building, which I purposely saved the best for last, and definitely 100% will be picking up this year, is the Crypt of Lost Pumpkin Souls. Now, this is actually where I live. Lemax actually hit me up asking me if they could use my house design as a building, and I said, yeah, go ahead. It would be awesome either way. Now, of course, I'm joking, but I would love to live here regardless. Anyways, this is absolutely my favorite building for this year for obvious reasons. I just absolutely love this thing so much. It is this big castle that is 100% decked out in pumpkins, and it is just so awesome. I love this thing in terms of lighting, in terms of just the design of it. Everything flows so nicely together here. And of course, as most of you know, for my Spooky Town theme, I do a farm and, basically a farm pumpkin patch theme, and this is going to go perfect in it. I feel like it kind of is a little bit straying away from the farm theme a little bit and more into the fairy tale zone, but I really don't feel that at all with this one. I heard a lot of other people saying that, but in my opinion, this fits perfect in any pumpkin patch or farm. I just think it looks so awesome. This is definitely their best piece for this year, and without a doubt, 100% a pickup from me. I'm a little bit happy that there wasn't a farm piece this year, because then I would have definitely been split between getting this one or a farm piece, but overall, I'm just super excited with this one, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I love the huge pumpkin creature on the front of the building. That is definitely a creature, since we see his arms sticking out, grabbing onto those big tree trunks with the flames, and also just everything else. There's so many little details here with like the gargoyles on the pumpkins, and I love the little guy right in front of the door too. Just another great detail. Overall, this is easily my favorite this year, and I cannot wait to pick it up. Now let's head into some of the smaller figurines and accessories that go along with these buildings this year, since there are a few that I definitely want to take a look at. So let's head on over and take a look. Starting off with one, I might be buying the Pumpkin Snowman. Now, I find this one to be kind of funny, since obviously it is a mix between Christmas and Halloween. Definitely more on the Halloween side, though. I just think this one looks nice as a pumpkin stack, dude. And I feel like it could be definitely a solid pickup for me, possibly. I feel like it kind of looks a little bit too Christmassy, though, in a sense, but I don't know. I feel like it would go great in a pumpkin patch, so that's why it's a possible pickup for me. Other than that, there's really not much else to say about it, other than I like it, and it is a clever idea. So, let's head on to the next piece. And finally, the last item we'll be looking at today is the Last Ditch Gas tow truck. Now, obviously, this goes with the Last Ditch Gas building, and I think it just looks so awesome. Obviously, give me a lot of Mad Max vibes here. Just such a great piece overall. It will go perfect with the Apocalypse theme, and I feel like this is definitely the coolest, like, accessory item we've seen in a really long time. I love that it's like this full-size truck. It should be a little bit expensive, though, but there's no lighting on it, so I can't see this thing being more than $20. Overall, I like it a lot, and again, it will go perfectly with the Apocalypse theming. I hope to see that we get a few more Apocalypse buildings in the coming years, but I don't know. I think they might keep it up, since it seems like they're going to be pretty good sellers. Well, that's going to be it, so let's head to the outro. Alright everyone, that is it for my overview of the Lemax Spooky Town Halloween 2022 lineup, and I could not be more excited for these new pieces. I think this is probably one of their best years in the past 5 years or so. So many solid pieces this year, so many big hitters this year. I feel like this is definitely just a really great year overall for Lemax. Definitely one of their better years in the past few years, I would say. Overall, I'm really excited to get the Pumpkin Crypt. That thing just blew me away as soon as I saw it, and I knew I needed to get it. But that's going to be it for this video, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe as always. Also, check out my merch and my Instagram in the description below. And with that, as always, this is the Pixelated Pumpkin, signing out.